This is the vocabulary for Domain 7, the Westward expansion. Campfire, noun, an outdoor fire used for warmth or cooking. Example, Nick and Anna gathered wood for the campfire so they could roast marshmallows. Variation, campfires. Settled, verb, to move to a place and make it your home. Example, my cousins moved to California and settled into their new house. Variations, settle, settles, settling. Sights, noun, things or places seen. Example, Juanita walked for hours and hours enjoying the sights and sounds of New York City. Variation, sight. Wagon train, noun, a line or caravan of wagons. Example, the wagon train moves slowly westward over the rough and rocky terrain. Variation, wagon trains. Sympathy, noun, feeling sorry about someone else's trouble or misfortune. Example, the merchant's daughter felt sympathy for the beast. Variation, sympathies. Design, verb, to create the plans for. Example, engineers continually work to design cars that are more fuel efficient. Variations, designs, designed, designing. Inventor, noun, a person who invents or creates a new product. Example, Benjamin Franklin was the inventor of bifocals, eyeglasses with two sections for near and far. Variation, inventors. Journey, noun, an act of traveling from one place to another. Example, my family went on a journey to the beach last summer. Variation, journeys. Steamboats, noun, steam-powered boats. Example, we enjoy watching the steamboats travel up and down the Mississippi River. Variation, steamboat. Voyage, noun, a journey. Example, Columbus's first voyage to America was in 1492. Variation, voyages. Erie Canal, noun, a 363-mile-long man-made waterway created during the early 1800s to join the Hudson River to Lake Erie in New York State. Example, last summer we enjoyed a sailboat ride on the Erie Canal. Freight, noun, goods that are moved from one place to another by ship, train, truck, wagon, or airplane. Example, it took the captain's crew an entire morning to load the large amount of freight onto his ship. Tow, verb, to pull or haul. Example, we had to tow my uncle's car to a service station when it broke down on the highway. Variations, tows, towed, towing. Transport, verb, to carry from one place to another. Example, refrigerated trucks transport much of the produce that we buy in the grocery store. Variations, transports, transported, transporting. Approach, noun, a way of doing or thinking about something. Example, the artist used a unique approach to create her painting. Variation, approaches. Concluded, verb, decided after a period of thought or observation. Example, after playing in the hot, bright sun all afternoon, the children concluded that it would be a good idea to go swimming. Variations, conclude, concludes, concluding. Create, verb, to make or produce something, to cause something new to exist. Example, my little sister and I are going to create a skyscraper using these blocks. Variations, creates, created, creating. Generations, noun, groups of people who are born and living during the same time. Example, 3 generations of my family immigrated from India to America. Variation, generation. Interacting, verb, talking or doing things with other people. Example, the students were interacting with each other to finish their project. Variations, interact, interacts, interacted. Encountered, verb, unexpectedly met with or came upon something. Example, while in Kentucky in November, the Cherokee encountered a horrible winter storm. Variations, encounter, encounters, encountering. Forced, adjective. Forced, adjective, involuntary or not done on one's own choice. Example, The emperor who desired the Great Wall of China to be built ordered many people into forced labor. Insisted, verb. Demanded or said something firmly. Example, Koda's mother insisted that he brush his teeth before bed if he did not want to get cavities. Variations, insist, insists, insisting. Miserable, adjective. Causing extreme discomfort or unhappiness. Example, walking to the park in the newly fallen snow was fun, but the walk back home was miserable because it was so cold. Relocate. Verb, to move a home, people, or animals from one place to another. Example, the Cherokee people were forced to relocate to what was called Indian Territory by the U.S. government. Variations, relocates, relocated, relocating. Hardships, noun. Difficult conditions or situations that cause discomfort and or suffering. Example, people endured many hardships as they traveled on the Oregon Trail. Variation, hardship. Ruts, noun. Grooves worn in the soft ground. Example, after a heavy rains, the wagon wheels caused deep ruts in the mud. Variation, rut. Scouts, noun. People sent ahead of a traveling group to gather information about what lies ahead. Example, the scouts rode ahead of Lewis and Clark to search for a way down the mountain. Variation, scout. Steep, adjective. Having a very sharp slope. Example, Brian spent months preparing for his steep climb up the Himalayan mountains. Variations, steeper, steepest. Territory, noun. A specific section of land that belongs to a government, but is not yet an official state or province. A specific area on land or geographical region. Example, Thomas Jefferson purchased the Louisiana Territory from France. Variation, territories. Endurance, noun. The ability to go on for a long time despite pain or discomfort. Example, Olympic athletes have great endurance and can exercise for a very long time. Landmarks, noun. Objects or structures on land that are easy to see and recognize. Example, the ruins of the Parthenon and the Acropolis are two famous landmarks in Athens, Greece. Variation, landmark. Route, noun. A way to get from one place to another place. Example, we looked at the map to find the fastest route into town. Variation, routes. Venture, noun. A business activity where a successful result is uncertain. Example, opening an indoor ice park in our town is a new venture for my neighbors. Variation, ventures. Ancestor, noun. A person who lived a long, long time ago from whom another is directly descended. A forefather. Example, Michelle's ancestor came to the New World on the Mayflower many, many years ago before the United States was formed. Variation, ancestor. Convenient, adjective. Suitable for your needs, causing the least difficulty. Example, it was convenient for Josh that his mom packed him an afternoon snack so he wouldn't be hungry during his piano lesson. Iron horse, noun. A nickname for the first locomotives. Example, the loud whistle and hissing steam of the iron horse was a shock to the Native Americans living on the previously quiet prairie. Variation, iron horses. Spanned, verb. Covered the length of something from one end to the other. Example, Maria's large chalk drawing spanned from one end of her driveway to the other. Variations, span, spans, spanning. Transcontinental railroad, noun. A railroad system that stretches all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast of the continental United States. Example, many people across the country contributed to the building of the Transcontinental Railroad. Variation, transcontinental railroads. Bison, noun. Large shaggy mammals, also known as buffalo. Example, sometimes bison huddle together in the herd to keep warm during a winter storm. Charged, verb. Ran or rushed at, sometimes as if to attack. Example, On his horse Bucephalus, Alexander the Great charged into battle against the Persians. Variation: charge, charged, charging. Skilled, adjective. Trained or experienced in something that requires a certain ability. Example: the skilled chefs prepared the perfect dish to serve at the grand opening of the restaurant. Solemnly, adverb. In an unsmiling or serious matter. Example: the new president solemnly swore to protect the country.